What's up, guys? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax, and I'm going a little informal for the first time in a while in this video. I'm just going to be going over my 2023 Bowman Draft Team Break guide to kind of help you guys get an idea of what you'll be getting into with each team, maybe helping some breakers try to price out their breaks based on the players that are on each team, and maybe some of you guys that jump in a random break and you don't really know who's in that team, you can check out this guide and this video to help you along the way. Now, I do have a rank for each team, and it will go as follows. I got to actually slide it over here because I've got my screen record. The teams are going to go great, good, okay, bad, and awful. We do not have any great teams on this list. There are a lot of good teams, but there aren't any like elite standout, super crazy good teams. Like the Pirates have Skeens, and that's it really. And the Rangers have Langford, but that's it. That's all they really have on the checklist. So I did give those both good rankings because they're really only chasing one player, at least a good player out of those. And I do put a Let's Talk Wax rank on each of the players that are going to be in this team break guide. And you can see that here, elite through 7. The pitchers are noted by AP. The blank spaces are going to be indicators that they don't have a first chrome or a first auto, because in a lot of releases, some players only have a first chrome and some players only have a first auto, and most of them have both, but some don't. The ranks are also very subjective. As with all of my content, I can't predict the future. I kind of try to read stats and scout stats and watch videos, and it's just my opinion. No one can predict who's going to be the best player out of this release, because it's going to drastically change in probably 6 months when the season starts. My top 25 ranking will probably be completely different, with the exception of probably Wyatt Langford and Paul Skeens. But just keep that into consideration. This is more of a useful tool in my content. I try to keep you guys organized and up to date so you can make your own decisions on who you want to chase. This break guide does not include insert autos, dual autos, and things like that. It's just for first chromes and first autos. So now we got that out of the way, we will go through the teams quickly, and we'll start with the Angels, who are okay for me. Their highest ranking players are 3.5, so just average autos there. The Astros are pretty bad. They've got 2 hitters, but they're both ranked 3 and 4. The A's are okay. They're pretty much led by Jacob Wilson here, who was a first rounder. He's probably one of the best players in this release. I think he was in my top 5, my top 25 video. I think he was number 5 on the list. An incredible hit tool that he has, but some 3 pitchers and some 5.5 hitters, so not a lot going on outside of Jacob Wilson with the A's. The Blue Jays are bad. They've got 3 arms and Jace Barofin, and he's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 3. So the Blue Jays are not going to be a good draw if you are in a random team break. The Braves are very good, probably mostly because of Hurston Waldrop and the success that he's had in the minor leagues post-draft. Now there's only one bat in the Braves checklist as far as the team breaks go. Sabian Sabalos is it, and the rest are going to be pitchers. Drew Hackenberg's not a bad arm, but Hurston Waldrop really leads that group, and that's kind of what propelled the Braves into the good ranking, because there are 5 autos, even though they're 4 pitchers. But like I said, Waldrop is driving the car in that group for sure. The Milwaukee Brewers are bad. They've got the highest ranking player is a 3.5. They've got 2 hitters. The Cardinals I did put as bad. There's only 1 arm with a first chrome. You got 3 hitter autos to chase there, but they're 4.5s, 5.5s, and 4s. And if you guys want to, if you want a better breakdown of all these hitters, you just see the rank right now. But over on the Patreon page, I do post the autograph and first chrome checklist breakdowns, where I provide all the stats throughout the players' careers. I do a write-up, and you can kind of see how the stats, and I kind of explain all the stats and everything over there. So it's not just a rank that you see over there. You actually kind of get a feel for the players' abilities, and it's kind of easier to pick out your sleepers and guys you may want to chase, because there are some 3s and 3.5s and 4s, especially in draft, guys who've only had small sample sizes, and maybe some of them haven't even had a professional debut yet that could really take off in 2020, 2024. Guys like Chase DeLauder who were hurt, and now that he's healthy, he's a $100 auto, and I think while he was injured, he was like a $15 auto. So, like I said before in the beginning of the video, things always change. This is just kind of a reference guide for now in the present, but like I said, 6 months from now, the Cardinals could be an excellent team. So we never really know. The Cubs are going to be good because they've got Matt Shaw, one of the best shortstop, one of the best college players in 2023. He was a first rounder out of the University of Maryland. Jackson Wiggins is not a bad arm as well. He's a 2.5. So the Cubs are a good team if you pick them up in a random. The D-backs are okay. They've got several first chrome guys. They've got Tommy Troy, who is a good player. I want to say he was out of the University of Stanford, a shortstop as well. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2. I covered him over in the top 25 video. And they've got some arms as well. They're an okay team. The Dodgers, who are usually great in every release, they are not so much in this one. They've got a couple pitchers. They've got 3 hitter autos, with Kendall George being the highest ranking at 2.5. The Giants are okay. Bryce Eldridge really headlines this group, and Joe Whitman. Eldridge is a two-way player. Now, there's going to be a lot of hype around him, and as far as value goes, the week of release after the 12th, I think Eldridge is going to be one of the top-selling autos, and I think Max Clark is going to be one of the top-selling autos, along with like Langford, maybe Matt Shaw, and some other guys. Paul Skeens is going to be way up there. Jacob Wilson's probably going to be way up there, but I really think Eldridge and Clark are going to be very high sales players. So the Giants could be a good team based on the comps that Bryce Eldridge gets, post-release on the 12th, because he's a two-way player. There's articles about him being the next Ohtani, which is, it's obviously not going to be, he's not going to be that good. No one's ever going to be as good as Ohtani, but just that hype, with, beginning collectors, read that article and they take a lot of stock and things like that. But he could be a great player. Like I said, two-way player. And I think he's going to be one of the more expensive on release day. So they could be good. They could be maybe even great based on how high, Eldridge is. And like the Detroit Tigers with Clark, I think he's the only guy in that release. So the Giants are an okay for me. And hopefully, Randall, if you're watching this, you agree with me. And if you don't, I'm sure you're going to let me know in the Discord. So the Guardians are next, and they are okay for me. Their highest ranking player is a 2.5, Ralphie Velasquez. He's a high school bat. And it's pretty much okay because they've got so many players, even though they aren't ranked very high, with Ralphie being a 2.5. The Mariners are okay. Colt Emerson is really, really good. Ty Pete is pretty solid as well. They're both high school players. Colt Emerson was the Seattle Mariners' first-round pick, and I think Ty Pete was a competitive balance round. I want to say, I could be wrong. Y'all will always correct me in the comments if I am wrong, but they could be good. I'm actually going to change them to good. Just out of fairness, because I do think they are a good team. And sometimes, like I said, these are all subjective ranks, and I'm just kind of going through these to give y'all an idea of what you're getting into if you're doing breaks. The Marlins are good. They've got Noble Meyer, and that's really about it, but he is a big arm, the first high school arm taken in the draft in 2023. The Mets are okay. They have got a load of pitchers as first chromes, and they've got 3 first auto pitchers. So if you get the Mets, you're probably looking at some pitcher autos, and their highest ranking player is Nathan McLean, and he's an arm. The pitching rankings were really hard. There were a lot of 3s because there were a lot of guys that did not make a professional debut, and they kind of had so-so stats in college. So I just, played it safe with a 3 for a lot of arms. I just did the arms video a few seconds before this one. The Nationals, Andrew Pickney and Marcus Brown, Ilian Soto, they are bad. You do not want to get the Nationals in a random break for sure. If you get them, you may want to sell. The Orioles are okay. They've got Horvath and Enrique Bradfield. Now, depending on how some of their arms pan out, they could be a good team as well. Enrique Bradfield is just a phenomenal defensive player with an excellent hit tool. And Mac Horvath has a pretty big bat. And the Orioles are tremendous at developing in-house talent. You can see based on their roster right now, the players they've developed, just over the last few years, Rutschman, and Gunnar Henderson, Colton Cowser, just a ton of players that they've developed, and anybody with a chance and any talent at all is probably going to get maximized within the Orioles system. So I could possibly pump them to a good, but I'm going to go with an okay right now. But just know they're very much on the fringe for me. And I'm not really sure how much people are going to get into Enrique Bradfield in this release because he doesn't have any power. It's more of a speed hit combo, but he's capable of playing Gold Glove defense in center field. I don't know if you watched any of his games with Vanderbilt this year, but the dude can just absolutely. He's a ball magnet out there. He gets to everything. It's a no-fly zone in the outfield when he's out there. So big-time defense, possible leadoff or maybe like a 9-hole roll. Just a really good hit tool, really good athlete. And Horvath, he's got some thump. The Padres are bad for me. They've got Dylan Head and Homer Bush Jr. now. Padres, I think I need to put okay. I'm actually going to make an adjustment. That's 2 adjustments on the fly so far. So you can see how subjective my ranks are. They change like that. Dylan Head is a 2.5 for me, a high school bat, and had a pretty solid debut. And Homer Bush Jr., number 3, really good athlete. And go check the stats on him. Like I said, I think they're good enough to push Padres into okay and not bad. Now, the Phillies are bad. They've got Tayshaun, TJ Walton, and Devin Saltaban. They are, I'd say TJ Walton's probably the better draw of those two. If you look for Tayshaun, you may not find what you need. He does go by TJAYY, I believe. With most of the stat references, he does not go by Tayshaun. So look for TJ, phenomenal athlete there as well. The Pirates, like I said before, are good because Skeens is really the only guy. They've got Xander Meath, one of my favorite arms in this release. So they've got Skeens and Meath. I don't think Meath is going to be a high-selling arm on release, but I have him ranked pretty high because I like his stuff. I love his fastball and kind of how it plays with his arm side run and sink. So, and I mean, Paul Skeens is going to be one of the highest selling autos in this release next to Clark and Langford for sure. But since he's a pitcher, I think Clark and Langford and probably even Eldridge are going to outsell Skeens on release. The Rangers are good. Like I said, they've got Wyatt Langford. So if you draw the Rangers, it could be go big or go home. There's nothing really else going on with the Rangers outside of Wyatt Langford. That's why they did not get a great ranking. Now, Wyatt Langford is elite. Paul Skeens and Wyatt Langford, the only 2 elite rankies on this checklist. But I did give them a good just because there's not a lot else going on outside of Langford. There's nothing, actually, except for maybe some inserts or some non-first stuff. Now, the Devil Rays are okay for me. Their highest-ranking player is Trey Morgan, Colton Ledbetter, and Braden Taylor. Now, these are 3 bats that I think could be really good maybe in 2024. Trey Morgan had an excellent professional debut. He is one of the best lefty hitters that I've watched in the 2023 NCAA season. I'm a huge LSU fan, so I get a really good read on all these LSU guys. He uses the middle of the field. He doesn't try to do too much. He only gets into trouble when he does try to do too much, but he doesn't hit for a ton of power. Doesn't have a ton of defensive upside, but the kid's got a pretty special hit tool. Colton Ledbetter was a SEC bat, and Braden Taylor was very good in college as well. And that could even maybe bump the Rays up to good. But I kind of see these 3 guys more as high floor players rather than high ceiling. But that could change, like I said, in 8 to 10 months when the season gets cranking in 2024, which is why I love prospecting. The Boston Red Sox are bad. Their highest ranking player is a 4.5. We're just going to go ahead and pass right over them. You don't want them in a break. The Reds are pretty good. They've got Rhett Lauder. They're pretty pitcher heavy. Rhett Lauder and some other arms. Ty Floyd, another LSU arm. Had a phenomenal College World Series, pitched his butt off to win a national championship, and his stuff, I think that outing is what got him drafted against Florida. Just the way he went out there and shoved, it was amazing. He's got an incredible vertical break on his fastball. His fastball just comes in hard. It's got good life, and people have a lot of problems laying off of it in top of the zone. But like Rhett Lauder, just a great pitcher, double plus, probably one of the best changeups on this release. Excellent command. He just knows how to get people out. So 2 pretty big arms, but nothing going on in the bats in the Reds organization. The Rockies, we've got Cole Carrig, and he's going to be their top player in that release for sure. Another like kind of hit power guy right there. Cole Carrig could hit some jacks in the lower minors. I don't think he's had a small sample size after the draft, but he's a guy to watch out of that organization. But it's all they have really going on. The rest are all arms. Kansas City Royals have Blake Mitchell. The catcher was a draft that I think 6th overall, I want to say, by the Royals. He was a catcher. He's a great athlete, and he just didn't have a very good debut post-draft. He really struggled in the minor leagues when he got his first debut, so I gave him a 2.5, but that could change pretty good. Hunter Owens, one of my favorite arms out of Vanderbilt on this list, so the Royals are okay for me. They got a 2.5 arm, and they got a 2.5 bat. The Tigers obviously have Max Clark here, and he is a rank of 1 for me. He could have been elite, but I do factor in, even though it's a small sample size, the what they do post-draft. I know Max Clark had a ton of hype around his name. He's going to be the most expensive auto on this checklist on release. That's just it's a fact. He's probably going to be a $400 to $500 auto. The first sale of Ethan Salas, I think, was $550 for a base auto in 2022 Chrome or 2023 Chrome. And I would say Max Clark's probably going to be, the first couple sales of his base auto are going to be around $500. So I would sell those immediately. I would sell any of these guys as fast as you can in the first week, and then if you want to buy them up a month later, they're going to completely fall. Everything's going to fall in value. So if you stayed with me this long in this video, this is a very valuable tip with prospecting. Release week is crazy. Those prices are absolutely inflated. Do not buy during release week. If you do breaks, make sure you sell during release week. And then a month later, if you like Max Clark, you can probably buy him for 50% of the price that he was on release week. So if you guys do breaks, if you're ripping your own product, try to get this stuff on the market as fast as you can. It's very time sensitive in the first couple of days that you're going to maximize your profits from breaks, and it's really hard to break even with breaking your own wax right now. So my tip, get it out there as quickly as you can, wait a month or two, and buy it back at about half price. So if you've been doing it long enough, you've seen that kind of trend happen over time. But I gave the Tigers good based on Max Clark. The Twins are okay. They got Charlie Soto, is kind of a sleeper arm that I really like. Luke Keshaw, another pretty good bat, and Brandon Winokur at a 3.5. So they are okay. Could maybe float into the good range. Okay, White Sox, we've got Jacob Gonzalez out of Ole Miss. He could be one of the better shortstops that come out of this release. He didn't have a Wyatt Langford type debut. He kind of struggled in his professional debut post-draft, but he's a really good player. He's a very, very high floor player out of Ole Miss, so definitely go check out Jacob Gonzalez and watch some video on him. And the Yankees are just flat out awful with one player on their checklist with a first Chrome and auto, and he is a 5.5. So that's going to wrap up this this not autograph checklist breakdown, but this is going to wrap this team break guide video. If you guys want to check out my Patreon page, I've got lots of stuff with draft over there. I've got this team break guide. I've got the complete autograph checklist breakdown where you can find all the players on here with a kind of a write-up and their stats and why I graded them, what they did. So go over there and check that out. Help support the channel if you want to do that. But that's going to wrap up this video. I appreciate all the views, and a shout out to all my level 3 people that support me on Patreon. It was fun to go off script for a little bit and kind of ramble with you guys. But have a great day and good luck in your breaks. Be sure to let me know in the comments who y'all are chasing. Have a great rip and good luck on opening week.